had 9 deaths in high school this year. High school football, 9. You see a couple in college, insurance companies back out. It's going to start eroding.
I think Colin Cowherd is out of touch with reality. If you go to West Virginia, that's a big state for coal miners. We know what coal mining does to the human body, but they still coal mining. It's still huge. Football is a way out for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Everybody can't go to college and, pay for, like LeBron just said, came out and said he don't let his kids play football. That's fine. LeBron James is almost a billionaire. His kids don't have to worry about that.
You gotta work.
It's a lot of people from the hood that play football as a way out. So to take a chance on staying in the hood or take a chance on possibly getting a concussion, man, we're going to play some football.
Out of wedlock, it was 4 out of 10 in the African American community. What is a man? And 2 people responded to me that Nisha Roach and Snook Coleman. And the words they used was a provider, proclaimer, protector, pride in his appearance, and always a man of his word.
I mean, that's real. If you say you're going to do something, you got to do what you're going to say you're going to do. I'm sure everybody done been promised a little something before. I don't know how y'all pops got down. I definitely had a Friday where I was expecting to go really enjoy myself. And we ain't get no phone call or that birthday when pops didn't call or, you know what I mean? It's a bunch of them different situations that take place. I try to always be as close to my word. You can't live as a man. You don't have the same role in society that I have. And that's not to say that it's not equal as far as men and women, but like, as a man, every time I shake a little dude's hand, like if I meet your son or I meet your son and your son shake my hand and don't squeeze my hand, don't look me in my eye, I'm going to call him on it and let him know about himself. Because the next time you shake a man's hand...
So you're saying that African Americans don't contribute to African American communities as much as Jewish people?
There's no African American... Never mind. I'm sorry.
2 years ago, I lived in Westwood. I had a Jewish roommate, and I worked on a couple of music video sets, and he, there would be a lot of times he would tell me straight up, hey, if you're Jewish, then if you're Jewish, you're in there, Jews work on the hookup system, and I disagree. I think he was the right person to say it. Donald Sterling lives in Inglewood in a normal house in the hood. He's known for, he's compared to most of the owners, he's kind of bumming. He employs a lot of black people. He owns a lot of apartments, and despite what he said about I don't want any black tenants and so forth. I think if anything, he just showed that black people, we have our dirty laundry out, and non-black people see it.
Like I said before, it's history behind this pain, these riots, all this. It's history that extend way past Mike Brown and Trayvon, you know what I mean? I can just go to like my childhood, seeing Rodney King just get beat by the police and seeing the uproar from that. And they didn't even kill dude, but it's the crazy treatment. It's like they not sugarcoating nothing, they not trying to hide nothing. Plain and simple, it's blatant. You're a black man, you could die, it don't matter.
Violence is not the answer, and retaliation isn't the solution. If it feels important to me, then I respond. If it doesn't, I don't. There's a lot of issues that I haven't talked about.
You look at Muhammad Ali, he used to take a stand. He was one of the people who was really vocal about not going to the war or blacks being treated not in a wrong kind of way. I mean, I just seen an interview with him the other day, and he was talking about, like, he'd rather be broke than to be disrespected as a black man.
Like, you had Jim Brown, you had Bill Russell. There's a lot of athletes out there putting themselves on the forefront.
But now that we have more freedom, why have we given up the fight?
World Series, a Little League World Series team. They won the United States World Championship, and they got stripped of their titles because they said they was violating rules.
And the white other team had a lot of money to investigate. And that's why it took so long, because they was investigating them boys for 10 months, a whole year. They've been trying to get, it's not like they just threw it. They've been trying to get them for a year.
I'm a person. I'm a father. I'm an artist. I'm a writer. I'm a painter. I'm a musician, and sometimes I play basketball. I disappeared for a while. People were wondering where I was. I actually entered into Rogers Memorial Hospital, and it was a program for anxiety and depression, mood disorders.
It's called maladaptive. He's not able to do that, so that's why he's taking the time back to do that. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take a great step forward, and hopefully that's what he's doing.
I don't believe him. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't believe him. I think that this was an excuse to not really want to deal with his problems, you can't really say, you can't keep failing drug tests and say, oh, you're stressed. We're all stressed. And he may have an issue, but then you seek help. You seek treatment. My thing is, what's after weed? Because if weed's not gonna solve the problem, do you go to crack? Like, what's next? So I can't really. I think he's not taking responsibility for what's going on.
So in the mental health department, you can take time off of this, and you're granted. That's why a lot of people have workman comps issues, for stress issues, depression, all that anxiety, all that comes into you, and as a culture, as an African American culture,
World Series, a Little League World Series team. They won the United States World Championship, and they got stripped of their titles because they said they was violating rules.
And the white other team had a lot of money to investigate. That's why it took so long, because they was investigating them boys for 10 months, a whole year. They've been trying to get, it's not like they just threw it. They've been trying to get them for a year.
Salivary cancer. It attacks the enzymes in your mouth. It makes it hard for you to formulate spit underneath your tongue, and also spit down your throat to keep your passageway moist how it should be, and so it dries you out. It creates lesions inside your mouth that are cancerous, and at some point, I don't know if this happened to Tony Gwynn, because I don't know how many public appearances he had towards the end, but like most surgeries, you get your like jaw removed because of it, because it just eats away at everything you got going on in your mouth.
It's unfortunate that addiction is sometimes stronger than the reality that you face, and I just feel that his addiction, he almost told himself that he'd rather die happy with his addiction than live trying to break that addiction or that habit.
In the words of Q Bell, sometimes addiction is stronger than our reality. 3 seasons in the NFL, this will mark the 4th time he has been suspended.
Just say, okay, I have a problem, I messed up. Own it. When you own it, that's when things get better. That's the first step.
Pay respect to Stewart. What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is exactly what Zach said. I would rush home to watch SportsCenter for 2 guys. Stuart Scott was one and Chris Berman was the other. Just because they were so, their personality just brought such an excitement to the game, and you wanted to watch highlights over and over. And I think for Stuart Scott, he really broke barriers for black journalists that wanted to come into the game, and they felt more comfortable saying, hey, I can do it because Scott can do it. And he really was a role model for all sports journalists coming up. And just him being so cool, he was a legend in his own right. And when you go back and look at all the films and you look at all the interviews, we truly lost a sports legend, and we will hurt for years to come from that.
When I first heard the news about Stu Scott, when I saw Hannah Storm make the announcement, the first thing I thought was, damn, Stewart is dead. And we all grew up watching it, we all grew up watching SportsCenter, and the thing about Stuart Scott is he was that brother that you knew at the barbershop. He was the brother that you knew at the ball game, where you guys can just talk about the game and talk about life throughout the whole time when you're there. The thing about Stu that I'm always going to remember is the class that he had, the ability to bring our culture, our history to the airwaves. You know, when you're making Wu-Tang references, and that wasn't even done in '96.
For real.
And he's going out and saying that, you connect with them. It's a huge loss for the industry. And if it wasn't for Stuart Scott, we wouldn't be here doing this today. So he's an inspiration to us all right now.
True. Yes, sir. That's true.
Yeah. We wouldn't be doing this.
That's true.
We. He said we.
Invest in your neighborhood. Invest in your neighborhood. Invest in your neighborhood. The government's not. The government's not. The government's not.